Are you ready?
No.
So mean. Goodness.
Well, if you want this to be split screen. Okay. I'm ready, pretty boy.
All right. Audio sync in 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Did you just flick me off?
Holy shit, how did you know? Dude, how did you know?
Because I watch these outtakes that you do sometime. I'm kind of like, oh, thanks, buddy. Don't know why you just did that.
I haven't flipped you off in a really long time.
I know, but I had this feeling.
5 or 6 videos.
The way that I said, "Are you sitting down yet?" and you said no, I'm like, I'm gonna get flipped off.
Holy crap! That's we're like syncing up here, buddy. That's weirding me out. Ooh.
So speaking of syncing up, let us sync up our August TBR. Welcome to the CodeX Cantina, where I am the prophetic Una.
Dang, and I am the freaked out crypto. Split screen.
How are you doing this year? You ready for the school year, buddy?
No. No.
Yeah, I don't know if the world's ready for the school open, but school's opening. You ain't stopping it.
I don't think there's enough hand sanitizer in the world for school to be ready to open. I just bathe my kids in it when they walk in my room.
All right, let's talk about what we are reading in the August TBR this month. All right, so let's start off with novels. Let's start off with the one I'm most excited about. And that is The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner for hashtag Faulkner in August, hosted by Brian from Bookish and Alan from Big Hard Books and Classics. I will put links to their channels down below to go check out. But we're very excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. I specifically bought this book on my travels, hunted this book down, got it in a secondhand bookstore so that I could have this and have it in my hand, ready to go.
This will be a second round for me, and I warn you now, I did not like it the first time. This is the Faulkner book I did not like when I first read. I believe this was my second read. I believe this was right after As I Lay Dying, and I did not care for it, but I know I will enjoy it more this time from an analytical standpoint because I read it just for pure enjoyment the first time. And that first chapter, that ain't pure enjoyment, right? So what? Well,
you're not very smart. You're not very good at Faulkner, so you know.
No, I'm not. So
I'm teasing. If you're new to the channel, I'm teasing.
What we're going to do is we'll do instead of the in-depth series, what we're going to do is a before you read The Sound and the Fury, I think, and then we'll do a wrap-up at the end of a book review, basically, in a full breakdown. And then before will be the idea of, not necessarily spoiler-free, it'll be mostly spoiler-free, but the idea of, here's some things that you need to know before going into it, because if you just jump into that first chapter, you kind of get screwed. Like, that was a bold move, Mr. Faulkner, to make that your first chapter, so... So I think what we're going to do is we're going to type together, basically read the whole book, type together what we needed to know before you started, and then come back together for the review. So
just 2 videos in that series.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think that's the plan, but I lie all the time, and maybe we'll just do an in-depth. We'll see.
Yeah, it may end up being 4 videos if we really get into it. Who knows?
Now, in terms of delays, I apologize. We've read and have filmed and such, the Memory Police. We haven't gotten it out. We're getting that out this month, so we'll have read it already, but the Memory Police, a one-and-done video discussion, is going to be coming out this month on that book. And it's actually, August is actually Women in Translation Month, so it kind of just works out well that we are a little bit late on getting that one out.
Nobody remembered that we haven't done it.
I see what you did there. All right, now for me personally, I am very excited to continue the Inuyasha series with Lezlie from the Nerdy Narrative. I will put her link down below. We're having interrupting Una. I'm in the wrap up and somehow I've injected myself into the TBR. I don't know how I did that. Magic, I guess. But we are doing a shift. Instead of doing Inuyasha, we stopped at 20. Leslie's going to go, collect some more of those. But we're going to shift and now jump to One Piece, my one and favorite manga of all time. So we're going to read 1 through 23, which I believe brings us up to the Alabasta arc, which kind of ends with Nefertiti Vivi. Amazing thing. I can't wait to work through this with Lezlie. This is one of my favorite things. Basically, every morning I wake up with coffee. I read a quick volume, 180 pages of a graphic novel, the One Piece, and we'll do that through the month of August is the plan here. So
reading a book for enjoyment as well with Mrs. Crypto. We both love the Jim Butcher series, Dresden Files, and Peace Talks is coming out here in just a few days. And so we're going to be reading that during August. So in the August wrap-up, I'll let you guys know what I thought for an enjoyment standpoint. I know I'll love it because I love all the books from that series, but I'm really excited to get back to Harry Dresden's world and his life and what's going on with him.
Dude, I can hook you up with anyone in the book world. There's so many people that are excited to read that new book coming out this month. Peace Talks.
Well, it's a little bit of a story here. It's kind of special for my wife and I, so I've talked about it a couple of times, not getting too much personal details, but Miss Crypto has some medical issues, and the first time that she went in the hospital when we were together, we'd been together only a few months, and she went in the hospital for like a month, and her parents had to come and help me in the hospital with her. And one of the things that I would sit there and do when she was sitting there in kind of pain and agony and unhappy and down on life is I started reading to her. And the series that I started reading to her was the Dresden Files, because I knew there were a lot of books, and I knew that it was something that could occupy a lot of our time together there in the hospital. So I started reading those books to her. So it's kind of a really special connection for the wife and I. So we talk about it all the time and our theories and stuff and what we like and don't like. So it's a really special series for me.
Channel's learning this at the same time that I am. Look how special we are here tonight. Now, we're doing a lot of pleasure reads this month, but that's because we're going to put so much effort into that Sound and the Fury. We really want to do a really good job on that. We're very excited for the Sound and the Fury. But another pleasure read that both Crypto and I are doing is we're going to finish up The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson for Stormalong 2020. If you didn't know, our friend Michael Nip bought us that book out of the kindness of his heart. So please go check out his channel. We'll put the link in the description below and send him some love, because that was a very, very generous thing to do for him to buy us that book.
Yeah, I want to say thank you again. That's really, really nice. So
you know, as we're doing the split screen, the channel's going to realize like how much I do drink during these videos. I don't think they know.
I cannot drink tonight, so
yeah,
my medical issues.
We're
falling apart here in Casa de Crypto.
we still love you whether you're apart or together. Now, for short stories, we have the controversial author series Good Country People, which will have already been published. We're filming it tonight. We're hoping to do something special for that. We have some kind of plans since August 3rd. Past tense now, was the day that she passed away. Hopefully you guys have already watched that video. But the idea is that this is going to be part of our controversial author series, where we take an author that's been controversial or has had controversial things happen to them, or that they've done personally, and kind of talk about their works as they will in the grander scheme of literature as a whole. So that'll be Good Country People.
We gonna do some Harry Potter then?
Oh gosh!
I joke. I kid. Sorry.
She has earned her way onto that list, I tell you, because last year when we did this, I don't think we never even called out like the whole Snape during the ridiculous scene and stuff like that. But now that this has happened, it takes a different meaning, right?
Indeed. Oh.
All right, we are following that up with Girl by Jamaica Kincaid, a very, very famous author and work. My understanding, it's very difficult. I've actually never read it. I don't know why it's difficult. I don't think it's, from what I've heard in terms of critical analysis, is that it's difficult to come out with meanings. So we may flounder with that one. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna crush it. Yeah, I have faith. I have faith in you.
All right. Now, on the other side, this is one that I have read before, but you have not, and that is The Overcoat by Nikolai Gogol.
Oh, I'm jealous, but I'm also excited because I've been waiting for us to get back to him.
Yeah, the first one was really weird selection, but it didn't, as you said, it didn't turn you off. This one's going to turn you on, baby. You're going to get hot under the overcoat for this one.
Nikolai, G.
Okay, and then the last one was one of your selections. I gave you the honor of telling me what to do, because we had another plan that kind of fell through. So we killed it, and we're like, okay, what do we want to work on? And you chose W.E.B. DuBois.
Yep, and so we're going to be doing a piece of his book, Chapter 13, which is called The Coming of John. And it's the penultimate, I think, chapter in the book. And it's the only one that's fiction, I believe. The rest of the whole thing is nonfiction, if I remember correctly.
Is it a speech or is it a short story?
I think it's a short story. All the rest are
Okay.
speeches. I think this is the only one that is a fictionized short story in the book that is a collection of his speeches. I may be wrong on that.
And I know you've given me a link that has an audiobook rendition as well as the printed story to read for free, so we'll be able to publish that. Neither one of us has done that one, so we'll see what we're getting into with that one.
Yeah.
Our last piece to talk about here is The Grain by Leo Tolstoy. It's a part of our hashtag Tolstoy Triggered project, along with Noah from Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. I don't know much about this one. I think this is a less popular one. I think I came across this in terms of research when I was reading some blog entries. What they described about this story kind of caught me as interesting. So this one could be good, could be bad. I don't know. It's less popular for some unknown reason, but that's what we're choosing for our monthly, year-long expedition into Tolstoy Triggered. We're over halfway now, right? August. And I would say this has been an amazingly fruitful journey. Like, we've learned a lot about Leo Tolstoy, Russia, his writings as a result of this project, have we not?
Agreed. I can't believe how much I feel like I've grown because of these readings, and I think that's a lot of times the purpose of reading some of these things is introspection about myself and learn about Russian history and the influence of this on other authors that were alive at the time period and how they were kind of all friends or frenemies, and it's incredible the intricacy that one author can bring to your depth of knowledge in literature.
Yeah, because that was it was Turgenev that we were reading, Mumu, who wrote that. Was it for Tolstoy? Was that right?
Yeah, well, they were back and forth with each other, and he wrote the obituary, I think, for him, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, interesting the way that these kind of interwoven themselves. So,
but all of these stories that we've done so far with Tolstoy, we started, I feel like, low, even though for an enjoyment standpoint, but analytically high, and it's just getting better every single time. So even if it's a lesser known story, I feel like we have become so infatuated with his readings, we're so infatuated with his writings that it's getting better every single time.
Well, hang on. Is that true? Or is there a personal element to that where the more you get to know an author, his preferences, his style, what he thinks is good versus bad, which may or may not align with you, the more you get to know him and almost make yourself more intimate with his writing style, is it maybe easier to consume? So maybe you like it more because you can kind of expect certain turns and twists and know what comes from that author.
Easy can argue against that, sir. I'll give you one name. King.
Why? Because the more I read about him, the more I dislike him?
Exactly. we used to love Stephen King. Stephen King basically started this channel for us with The Gunslinger, and now every time we read it, we're like, this is the worst analytical story ever. He's awful. But we love him.
He does what I like to call fake literary writing, where he will put out like religious numbers. He'll put in, well, particularly older King was more religious. Newer King is all political, right?
Yeah, and anti-technology. Yeah.
And he just shoves these little things in there, and I don't think he has a meaning for them a lot of the time. And we've called that out, and we've talked about how particularly earlier King had maybe some misogynistic writing styles, right? Remember Wizard and Glass?
You're making my argument for me, buddy.
I'm just saying, though, that you start to realize problematic things in authors the more you get to know them, versus if you're just reading it for fun, you might glance over that.
I don't have any beer, but you just came over to my side. Thank you.
I'm just saying, but to that point, the more you get to know an author, the more you get to realize their writing style, and maybe you become disenfranchised with fake writing. Just saying.
I think that, yes, that is true. I think it can be easier to digest writing and enjoy some aspects of it the more you get to know an author and the more familiar you become with their writing. That can be true, but it isn't always the status quo.
Right. Well, and there are times when it comes just for, okay, flip it. Right. So this is analytical reading that we're talking about.
Right.
Let's look at Inuyasha. There are things that I'm talking about with Lezlie in terms of, okay, she never had, I believe, it's hard to get Japanese author information. I don't know if that's because they're more reclusive. I don't know if that's because translations of their speeches just don't make it into English, but it's harder to get authorial information of Japanese authors. And I don't know if that's cultural or translation issues. But we're talking about like, okay, there's a lot of talks about multi-generational issues. There's talks about, will you bear my child in this story? And we start to have that discussion of, okay, does the author have children? Do they not have children? And what we saw, and I'm not 100% sure of whether she did or didn't have children, but we start to realize that they gave up part of their life to be a manga artist, that after years and years and years of being one of the most successful manga artists and authors of all time, there are costs to that, right? So there are parts of these stories that are just fun and just enjoyable to read. But if I were to try to dig too much into this, I can almost be like, okay, well, she's not trying enough here. But if I'm just enjoying the fun, letting it happen, letting the fun wash over me, and then an analytical point hits me, I can enjoy pieces where if I were to try to read it just for analytical purposes, it wouldn't have been fun.
I can see that. Well, I think that's kind of one of the point of why we started the channel, was that we wanted to get people talking more about stories and books and educate them and give them our viewpoints and help people that may be struggling with some more deeper meanings. And I think that one thing that I hope we conveyed on the channel, and I know that I've started to learn as an older reader, is that you have different purposes when reading. Some things you can read for just pure enjoyment, and a little bit of the analytical stuff might, bleed in there a little bit. And other things you may just read purely analytical and get very little joy out of that. But as maybe a young reader, that's maybe hard to understand. At least for me, when I was a young reader, it was always just about enjoyment. And the only time I wanted to learn from a story was something that was assigned to me in school. So, yeah. I think that as you get older, you will start to realize that almost every story for you personally will have a different agenda, so to speak, either analytical or enjoyment.
Can I have a confession?
Sure.
So
you're not recording?
During the No. During the topic of this conversation, I ran out of my drink. If this weren't, like I told you, this is going to be a split screen because I don't want to edit this one too much. I would have left in the middle of us talking, and it would have seemed really rude that you're making this really like intelligent, poignant point. You're pouring your heart out to me, and I just walk away to get more drink. I stayed here for you, for this video, and not refill my glass, just so I can make sure that you understood that I was here for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. You're a good friend.
You're my hero.
Lord, how many have you had?
You're my fire in the torch, right? I look forward to this is a sacred moment to me each week.
What are you quoting? What book? Is this Way of Kings?
This is my heart. This is my heart that I'm speaking.
You know I don't do poetry, right? Keep your damn poetry, Una.
Well, I also, if I make it awkward enough, I know that you will want to sign out so that I can go refill this and continue on with my night. If you know what I mean. Okay. Well, better tell Mrs. Una that she's not getting her husband anytime soon. So we're just gonna keep on talking. This is gonna be a short video, Una or Crypto, like 10 minutes. We can do it in 6 minutes. I had to finish my drink. I don't.
Well, go get your other beer.
All right, guys.
Water.
Thank you so much for checking out our
Welcome, August. If I die, have a good September.
If you die, why would you die?
I'm going to be going back to school with 2,000 teenagers.
Oh, okay. Well, you took that the really grim, literal route. Okay.
Yeah, very gothic here. Went very gothic.
You went Southern Gothic on me.
I went Southern Gothic here in Florida.
After Good Country People and A Rose for Emily, you're like, okay, I'm just going to go to the deepest, darkest place of humanity's heart and just rip it out right now.
Only your heart. You're the only one that loves me here at the CodeX Cantina.
The flame that burns.
Please end this video.
Thank you so much for checking us out, guys. If you enjoy discussions like this, we don't have these discussions very often. We do more serious stuff, right? We're boring. We don't watch us.
We are not entertaining.
Yeah, if you hit the subscribe button, we appreciate it, but I don't know what else to say.
Peace.
Close it out, Crypto. Wait. Can you do me a favor? Write one quick line of poetry, please. One quick line.
I love your beard. It's very scary. Please dye it.
Aw, harsh. Peace out.